Double tree. A double tree correction derives its name from three-wave move like the zigzag or flat, but each like W, X or Y will be a different correction. The easiest way to determine this is to ask how this pattern would fit inside of a market movement. It should look like a choppy movement with a lot of overlapping movements within. Imagine this: correction after correction after correction. Double tree is a common pattern to see in wave 4, if wave 2 was a simple correction like a zigzag or flat. Wave W can be either a zigzag, flat, or complex correction. Wave X can be either a zigzag, flat, complex correction, or triangle correction. Wave Y can be either a zigzag, flat, complex, or another triangle correction, but only in the event that there are not any other triangles appearing before. Each of the waves can become another complex correction, but if you try to force this method, you'll never know where the market will go next. Complex correction inside complex correction will give you 10 different options at any given time, which could lead to confusion. So I strongly suggest that you don't try to determine complex correction inside of other complex correction. We don't have many rules given to us by Mr. Elliott about complex corrections, but I still love to have some rules that will make complex correction less subjective. Rule number 1. Wave X must end above the starting point of wave W, so you can separate the complex corrections from a flat. Rule number 2. Wave Y must end above the ending point of wave W. There's only 2 rules you need to follow. Let's take a look at this chart of the Swiss franc yen, where we can see a lot of overlapping movements from the bottom to the top. And there is clearly not a chance that we can fit any of motive patterns over here. Even a corrective patterns like a zigzag or a flat would fail to meet all the standards. So let's start from the bottom and see how much waves we have till the top. First we had a 3-wave move up, so we are calling this the wave W. After that a 3-wave move down, wave X, and final 3-wave move up we are going to call the wave Y. Now we need to check the rules. Wave X need to hold above the starting point of the wave W, so that's true, and the wave Y need to end above the ending point of the wave W, and that's also correct. So after that you can go and say to yourself, this is a double correction and you don't need to pay so much attention. For example, if wave Y is going to be a zigzag or a flat or a triangle or something like that, you don't need to keep your mind occupied with that, because you know one thing, that this is a part of a correction. So all you need to be focusing on is going to be a larger picture, and say to yourself, this is a correction and I'm waiting this correction to be over, and I will try to sell after I see impulsive move down, because you know that after a corrective phase is over, you are going to see another push in a direction of the larger trend. Here is another example. This is the Euro-CAD on the 4-hour chart. From the top to the bottom, we have a lot of messy movements. But let's go and check from the top how much waves we have. Over here, we had some sort of a zigzag correction. And ideally, if this was the live market, you would probably start buying, because you had a 5-wave move down, pullback, and another 5-wave move down that look like a perfect zigzag correction. And you start to go long and price is moving in your direction, but you don't have that spike higher in some sort of wave 3, and price start to push lower. You see when wave A of the wave Y start to develop that you're wrong. And then you are going to say to yourself, okay, I have the 3-wave down, I have 3-wave up, and a potential 1 more push lower. So at least I'm going to look to have in total a 3 waves inside of wave Y. And that's exactly what happened over here. So the best way would be to go and call this some sort of a double tree correction, but we need to check the rules. wave X halted below the starting point of the wave W, and the wave Y ended below the ending point of the wave W. So that's all that we really need. Here is another example. And again, Swiss yen. Now, we can see that from the bottom to the top, this can potentially be a 5-wave move because we have a potential leading diagonal in the wave A. And you are going to go with a 1-2 for now. So, for example, if you don't know what's happened, you would probably label this as a 1-2. And after that, in the wave C, when you see that price cannot move higher, and you have even a smaller leg, smaller than the wave A, you're going to ask yourself, okay, maybe this is just the A, B, and C. And after that, you have another A, B, and C to the downside. So you don't have a clear trend. So you should be staying aside at that moment. And finally, you are going to see a final 3-wave move to the upside, and in total, you are going to have 3 waves where each have a smaller 3 waves inside. And that is the only sign that you need to be sure that you are done with a DoubleTree correction. You don't need to bother. I know this wave W was some sort of a zigzag, but I don't care. All I care is that I have that 3-wave move in W, that I have a 3-wave move in X, and that I have a 3-wave move in the wave Y. And that rules are going to hold. And over here we can see that the wave X holded above the starting point of the wave W, and the wave Y ended above the ending point of the wave W. Try to make your wave count simple, and use DoubleTree only if that's necessary or for the alternate counts.